About 5 years ago was when a lot of us were stuck clicking cookies. Whether that was on the phone or on the computer, we all wanted that number to go up. Even if it wasn't Cookie Clicker, arguably the game that truly set off the clicker games into mainstream popularity, you've probably heard or even played a game similar in premise. You start off by clicking, then buying things which automatically produce what you were clicking, then you continue that step. For most of the games of the clicker type, also known as incremental games, there's no real end. While people who have never played these types of games might call this stupid in concept, it actually is pretty addicting. There's something about the process of progressing that captures the human mind, and incremental games captures this phenomenon in plain sight. To help explain this, I'll go through the history of clicker games in my point of view. I probably played more games of this type than the average person. Probably around 7 years ago was when I was first introduced to the incremental games type, thanks to Cookie Clicker. One of my friends on Skype linked me the game, and that was the start of my temporary addiction with the genre. So, little Luke went mining away, gathering the cookies until he unlocked his first auto miner, the cursor, and so I got cookies without even having to click. Because of this, I would leave my browser on overnight in hopes of amassing even more cookies. Eventually, I realized that there is more games of this type, such as Kittens Game. Kittens Game is a text-based incremental/idle village simulation browser game. You manage a village of kittens as they gather resources and unlock new technologies. It starts off like this. You gather catnip by clicking, and soon after, once you accumulate enough catnip, you can buy catnip fields, which produce a certain amount of catnip based off the in-game season. Once you gather enough catnip from clicking and from your new catnip fields, you could refine 100 catnip into a piece of wood. After obtaining a certain amount of wood, you could build a hut for your kittens. These kittens could then become lumberjacks, which will net you 0.09 wood per second per kitten. Although, your kittens need to eat. You need to build more catnip fields to feed your kittens, or they'll die. As you progress, the game unfolds and becomes more complex. Not every game is like this, so I would call these types of games unfolding incremental games. For me, these types of games are even more engaging, as you are genuinely progressing through the story. Although, after a while playing incremental games, I started to get bored with them. You see, once you get to later stages of incremental games, the progress that you're making becomes slower, so it's not as engaging. So, I journeyed outward onto new games, usually checking out the incremental games subreddit, but after a while I simply wasn't enjoying the games. I wasn't having as much fun as I was in the beginning, but for some reason I continued, going through like 10 games at a time, but still not enjoying it. The basis of all these games are this: you make the number go up. It's this simple fact that makes these games so addictive. People like to progress. While researching for this video, I came across a comment on Reddit. You know how sometimes you feel like you're stuck in a rut? Your career isn't moving forward, nor your relationships, nor are you seeing any improvement in yourself? Well, incremental games are just the cure. For a little time at least, you see yourself progressing, and it feels good. Progress feels good, however easy it is to get. Anyway, I think that's why incremental games are addictive. We're not addicted to clicking, we're addicted to feeling like we're making progress. People simply like to feel progression, and idle games play to that need to feel like we're using our time optimally. As you might tell, I'm a bit obsessed with making sure my time is used optimally. That's part of the why I made this channel. I want to find something that I can spend my energy towards that I find productive. That is also why that half of my videos deal with procrastination and time management. But not all people are like me, as some people use the game as small breaks from work. Another person on Reddit said idlers make for the perfect desktop toy. Most of them don't require a lot of commitment. Basically, you could leave them in an open tab and come out now and perform some actions. The perfect break from monotonous work. In that sense, they work like a lot of mobile games, but without the annoying microtransactions or the pay-to-win schemes. These games only take a little bit of input, which you could then be in and out of the tab in a couple of minutes. This idea co-aligns with Nat Eliason, who is the founder of 2 businesses, owns a blog with a ton of content, and is generally all-around productive guy. He states that he doesn't avoid procrastination, just tries to keep it small. Instead of playing video games, which takes a lot of commitment, he goes on Twitter, which there he could be in and out in a minute. Clicker games aren't like the traditional game, where you have to sit down and really be immersed in the game. It could also be used as a break in between work. For me, I don't really remember when I stopped playing incremental games. I probably got caught up again with Minecraft. This doesn't mean that the Incremental Games community is dead though. I don't think this community will ever die, as these types of games are more straightforward to make when compared to other games, so there will always be a supply of these types of games. There is also a diehard community of people who enjoy these types of games. The community I found for discovering and talking about these games was on the subreddit Incremental Games, so if you would like more information about these types of games, go there. The games that I used to play are still in production, such as Kittens Gaming's Cookie Clicker. So they always have creators who love their projects. If you would like a glimpse of where Cookie Clicker is today, I would recommend you to watch this video by Alt-Shift-X titled Cookie Clicker Explained, which I'll leave in the description. But that's all for the video. If you like more video essays like this, please leave a like on the video. Thanks for viewing to the end. Later, Gator.